I did my presentation on Kant, human dignity and price. Technical terms that I'll go over are price and dignity. He talks about these kind of hand in hand. So price for Kant goes over price, and if there is one to be put on a man for certain things. Dignity is, he believes dignity is something we're all born with, and he explains what dignity is for a human. Price. Kant uses the term price to refer to something that can be exchanged, measured, or quantified. In this context, price is associated with things that have a conditional value. Things are valued for some other purposes or because of their utility. For example, a material object or a good has price because it can be traded or replaced with something else that satisfies a particular desire or need. He states, another man sees himself being driven by a need to borrow money. He realizes that no one will lend it to him unless he firmly promises to repay it at a certain time, and he is well aware that he wouldn't be able to keep such a promise. This shows what Kant means when he says something with dignity is not replaceable by external standard or exchange. As you have dignity, and because of that dignity, you can be more than any price offered. Price represents the value of things that are contingent upon their usefulness or exchangeability, whereas dignity represents the worth of rational beings. On to human dignity. Kant argues that dignity is something inherent. It's not something gained nor lost in human beings. He says every human dies with dignity. Therefore, you cannot own a person because they have dignity. For Kant, human dignity is rooted in our capacity for rationality and autonomy. It is a reflection of our ability to act according to moral principles, free from external constraints and guided by our own rational will. Now, in the past, people have owned other people, but Kant argues that even though slavery has happened, it isn't necessarily a good thing, but you can't own somebody or something that has dignity because you can't put a price on somebody for such things, even though slavery has happened. The conclusion statement. In conclusion, Kant's distinction between price and dignity serves to underscore the difference between actions that are based on self-interest and those that are morally obligated moral actions guided by the categorical imperative and are motivated by respect for the dignity of others and cannot be measured by the mere standards of utility or external goals. By contrast, actions driven by personal desires or contingent aims are evaluated by their price, which is subject to change depending on the goal at hand. This distinction highlights the profound moral responsibility humans have to treat each other as ends in themselves, not as means to some other end, and underpins Kant's argument for an ethics grounded in universal unconditional moral laws.